The immortal sadist Hidan. He's a character that never gets talked about, as many consider him the weakest member in the Akatsuki, but I do think some overlook a few things about Hidan that could make him out to be a real threat to many shinobi. Hidan is a rogue ninja from Yugakir, who decided to follow the ways of Jashin. It's a religious cult who spreads utter death and destruction in the name of their god named Jashin, and those who follow this religion somehow gain immortality. We even see this demonstrated by Hidan multiple times in the manga and anime, as he survived getting his head cut off, the stabbing of his internal organs, and even getting blown apart into pieces. It's interesting, as compared to other so-called immortals like Kaguzu and Orochimaru, Hidan is shown to be an actual one. What I mean by that is, there isn't any alternative reason for his immortality. For example, Orochimaru's secret to his immortality is a switching of bodies, and Kaguzu's secret to his is taking other shinobi's hearts. Also, Hidan possesses a lot of stamina, as he does sustain fatal injuries but never seems to be fatigued afterwards. However, with this immortality, Hidan tends to be very reckless when it comes to fighting, allowing himself to be defeated quite easily at times. He also possesses one jutsu that we know of called Death Possession Blood. This jutsu allows Hidan to link the body of an opponent to his own, and any damage Hidan sustains will be reciprocated to his target. Now the jutsu itself is hard to use as it takes a lot of setting up. First, he needs to draw the symbol of Jashin on the ground using his own blood. Then he needs to consume the blood of the person he wants to link with. And lastly, he needs to stand on the symbol for the jutsu, or in his words, the curse, to be activated. Now usually this kind of jutsu would be useless, but due to his immortal body he can inflict any kind of damage onto himself without it ever being considered fatal. However, this jutsu has a few weaknesses. For this jutsu to remain in effect, Hidan needs to stay within the symbol. While on the flip side, as long as he is inside the symbol, he is untouchable, as no one on the outside can hurt him unless they want to hurt the one he is linked with. What's so interesting about this jutsu is that it works on anyone that is alive. No matter how strong they are, if Hidan is able to link their bodies together, then it's pretty much over for them, unless they themselves are also immortal. Even someone as powerful as Madara would be killed by this jutsu. Also, this jutsu is pretty insane, as it could possibly bypass some jutsus such as the Raikage's lightning armor, his own partner's diamond morph, and possibly even Obito's Kamui. So that's about it for Hidan and his abilities. Let's get into his feats and scaling. So unlike many Akatsuki members, Hidan is considered very weak for good reasons, as his showings in Naruto are impressive compared to other members. During his fight against Yugito, he openly admits that his attack speed is the slowest among the Akatsuki, which is a poor statement because that just makes Hidan seem so inferior in comparison to the others, and he doesn't have any good attack potency feats as well, so pretty much he seems to be a fodder ninja that doesn't really belong in the Akatsuki. However, we do see him take down a few shinobi, such as Yugito and Asuma. Unfortunately, his fight with Yugito is off screen, but we do know that he does defeat her. In the data book, the Akatsuki are implied to being capable of taking on the Jinchuriki, but this is mainly due to their hacks. This can be proven as we see that he linked their bodies together in order to place her near death. On top of this, Hidan did survive an attack from the two tails that destroyed an entire building, mainly because he dodged it. But this does give us info that Hidan has more than an average amount of skill. Now when it comes to his fight against Asuma, he was clearly superior to him. Even with assistance from Shikamaru and the others, he was no match for Hidan. This was even further supported by Asuma's statement saying that Hidan was way stronger than himself, so at best we can say that Hidan's skill is much higher than most of the least Jonin. Now I know some people will mention how he got beat by Shikamaru of all people, but you have to remember that it took a lot of prep and pre-planning in order to pull off this upset, especially when you consider that he used his prior experience fighting Hidan to create a perfect plan to defeat him. But still, he wouldn't have been able to pull this off without the help of Kakashi and his teammates, as they were necessary for this plan to work. So there's no way you can say that Hidan was weaker than Shikamaru at this point in the series. Shikamaru even admitted that he was outmatched. This was during his first encounter with Hidan, meaning that under normal circumstances, Hidan would actually tear him apart. So I just wanted to end any thoughts of Shikamaru being stronger than Hidan, because it's just not true. Hidan also for a short time was able to go toe to toe against Kakashi. He had him on the defensive during their clashes, and Kakashi even acknowledged him as a strong opponent, making him appear a lot more impressive, as Kakashi is one of the strongest Jonin in the league. Kakashi also needed to be careful, as if he got caught once then he would have been in serious trouble. In fact, that's probably the reason why Kakashi was on the defensive for the vast majority of their fight. But unfortunately, Hidan does not scale to Kakashi for a few reasons. During their fight, Hidan was being aided by 3 of Kaguzu's masked creatures, and they seemed to be doing better than him. Also, Kakashi never considered using his MS against him. He only thought about using it when Kaguzu transformed, and even if you want to make the argument that they could be on par, it just doesn't add up. as we've seen Kakashi fighting against Kakuzu, who is more powerful than Hidan, which can be supported by Kakashi's statement. Even though Hidan reacted to an attack from Kakuzu, it doesn't mean much, as if this was a serious altercation, Kakuzu could have easily overpowered Hidan anytime he wanted, but it's still pretty impressive that he was able to react to him. So at best, Hidan peaks when it comes to high level jonin like Kakashi, but this doesn't mean that he's weak, it's just that he's not as strong compared to other members in the Akatsuki. He is still very dangerous nonetheless. So that's about it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.